Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Coming live from Five Pure Heart, children of God. That's you. That's you. So we're going to cook together. But I did most of the prepping now because we've tried that before. Guys, I can't get that off and I'm actually scared it might fall down. So that's pretty distracting. We didn't even know it worked. You can't open the one door on the cupboard or you hit the fan. It's pretty funny. Now, let's try. Oh, you guys, I can't do it. That's going to be distracting. How about, do we turn this one off? Oh gosh, it's like leaned on a cheese grater. Alright, what I'm doing right now, because I did something, I'm doing those black bean patties. I think I've done these before. But it's not from scratch. This is that thing with stuff in it for survival, and then you go pass out. God knows what's in it. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but, I mean, there's, when you read something like silicone dioxide, alright, then they got it listed with the spices. It's the ready hour, but I mean, if it was survival or the end of sorts or emergency, at least it's something, right? Keep the kids quiet. If you have kids, maybe they'll take a nap. It's so horrible. I've ever done it. So I was gonna get this oatmeal and add a little more because technically there is oats and like this black bean patty, and there's rice, oats, rice, black beans, tomatoes, onions, some spices. But I actually added more spices. I added jalapeno, fresh garlic, fresh onion chopped. I chopped fresh garlic, fresh onion, fresh jalapeno, a little more chili pepper, 2 eggs to bump the protein. So the protein's 5 for 1 patty. I think an average egg is about 6 grams of protein for an egg. No, I'm not a professional. I hope I can just stay on track and not start floating around. You guys, I had a serious meltdown again last night. I just don't get it. It's between the heat and then this thing they do where it comes on my neck and it feels like a towel, like if you were to take a towel and wring it out, but that's like it's like my neck. And then it just proceeds from there, and then it goes up, and then it's like a heat, hot, So unfortunately I did have to just cut this bag that I had knotted so tight, like I was scared someone was gonna steal oatmeal. Just to make sure it doesn't smell funky like freezer funk. I didn't have trouble before. I think it's because I added the extra egg. I kind of wish now maybe I put celery in it too, but we're just going to stick with this. I finally got some vegetables in the house. So I call it like doctoring up. And, oh, it did shut off. We tried to turn that thing on before. I'm going to have to turn this fan around. So we don't have any air. And, we didn't have a washer. We're like, well, you could just go to laundromat. I know we're on like 2 weeks of pay right now, plus the little thing I get. And I wanted to discuss something. I've discussed it before, and then I just make excuses, and then I don't go do it. And I've really tried to work it out in my head, like, what's the holdup? And then I kind of forget the dialogue that happened with Comedy Castle up near Detroit. What is that, Farmington somewhere? I don't know where. Comedy something. I don't know. Well, lo and behold, my brilliant little son was still home, and he's like, famous people go there. You're going to get seen, you're going to bomb, and you're going to regret it, or something. I was like, and I totally froze, because my husband was encouraging it, but I'm like, John, that wasn't ever really my forte, like, skits with another actor. like I'm the secondary and I help the main, or it's equal and we work as a team on stage, or if it was improv. It's just been so long and I'm old, and that's what really tripped me up, is because I was hoping I could just go up there, do this open mic, probably how many, a sea of us, a bunch of drunk people. It seemed pretty simple enough. They're all expecting us to be pretty bad, probably. I mean, they go out of the gate, you never done it, right? Or haven't been on stage in that format and never did comedy like that, you know what I mean? Because most people said, you're not funny. And you hear that enough. It might be a little strange, you ain't funny. And then if you only get like that one out of how many, and that you meet through, see, there's 10 people, and there's going to be like one person that just thinks I'm a hoot, and I'm usually a little leery. But, then if you were to take 40 in a room, would that only be like 4 people that think I'm funny? And I don't think it's even about the flopping or like brain freeze where I'm just don't know what I'm doing. And then I tried to start watching these guys, and they're like, this is how you set up your routine. And it's like, but that's not, I don't think it can do that. But maybe it wouldn't work. But this is where I'm getting to this, is the part that had me messed up most, where she's like, it seemed like this super long list, and maybe it wasn't, but it seemed kind of like it was. And I don't remember this place, but it was definitely a famous place. I didn't know that either. I'd have been better off just going into it blindsided. Who cares? Well, apparently my son did. And my husband was like, why are you letting him sway you? This isn't dogging you, son. You'll work it out one day with yourself. Yourself and whoever else. And it's all right. We tried. We tried, right? We can say we tried. You didn't know I was like underground type, sending in stuff and doing things. Apparently gets government upset sometimes. I thought I was helping, and I wanted my son to have like the freedoms I had. Oh no, it didn't work out that way, did it? No, it surely did not. Surely did not work out that way. No. Because I was under the impression I lived in a free country. In the sense of, if you know something's haywire and you want it fixed, then you get it fixed. You try to get it fixed. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Back to this place. I don't know where it was. I couldn't believe they got me in as quick as they did. Maybe it was a low time because it was COVID stuff. She's like, you can't talk about this, and this, and this. And something this, and by the time she's going this, and this, I'm like, oh God, what am I going to say up there? Now I could say, oh, well, this one time when I was gay, and then I can make gay jokes or something, right? Or this one time when I was, I don't know. It was like, you can do racist jokes. Maybe I misunderstood her. She said it had to come from a personal stance. And I just had a brain freeze. So then I was going to try to go down to one that Chappelle or whoever, they open. And then I was going to be on some kind of waiting list, which was fine. But I don't drive. You know what I mean? So, like, I wouldn't have time. Akron's, if I get a call, how am I going to barrel down near Akron? Is it near Akron? I might have that wrong. So there again, it was dead as a doornail, And even if I could drive, I can't drive alone. It just ain't gonna work, okay? Now, that didn't work back when I was 20. Very good. Alright, so what I did is I added some more oats. Now, see, the one time I did this, I don't know, I must have added too much water. This is getting a little irritating now. Do I have any instant rice? Mother Coco is a little skinny. Nah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not really looking for anyone's guidance. This is like my own problem. It seemed like it did work better when I put the oil in the patty. No, we're going to use this extra virgin olive oil we got. And just fry these babies up real quick. And most people, I mean, I don't want to be mean, but it's hard to be a female and try to get people to laugh. And I think it's because guys don't want to think that a girl's funny, or we're just not funny. I mean, let's just get that out of the way. And then, like, I won't even watch, I mean, I'll try them, but I won't even watch the ones that do the, this one. I won't be able to do it. I bet this is a great angle with the camera and it's pooched out. I don't know if I have hernias, but I'm drinking probably. All right. Well, you know, the other day, I was over at my friend's house. Well, and you never know. I'm like, are you funny, or are we just supposed to be ready to have sex with you? All right. So I don't watch those comedians. It's like, you're not even funny. Why are you trying? All you're doing is using your body. I want to laugh. I can go find a body at the... Okay, I'm not going to say strip joint. Those days are behind me. So, once I learn more about all the trafficking and things, but this will probably mess some people up. You ain't gonna stop. You ain't gonna ever stop men needing to get a booty tooties. A booty, you wouldn't want the tooties. That's never gonna end. That's where it gets difficult. She's gonna take making black bean patties with added stuff into something serious. So we got to get the skillet going. We've got 12 minutes. It's really a tough call because there's plenty of grown women that have no problem doing that, okay? And maybe they were raised and they were abused and they don't care and they like to make money selling a booty. You know? Really, quite frankly, when I list things, it is about women and children. It's the ones against their will. Okay, let's get this in order here. This is where it gets willy-nilly. It's like I drink too much, right? And it's a problem. And it's just it got worse, right? So it grew because I had all that time off from it, lots of breaks from it, and then boom. Trump, Epstein, not my main excuse, the satanic neighbors, it was a lot all at once, and I feared my sobriety would not, it was no way I was going to make it. And I hate AA. It's the biggest fraud operation in the world. If you need that cup to be your God right now, like, just some really stupid shit. And, they forget what, like, a true alcoholic is. It's like, if you come in and they decide they've made this impression of you and you're not getting it how they want you to get it. I saw a lot of groups like that. It does lead people to God, too. Like, if they don't have a God. But it's so let's not get into the doctrine right now. God knows they'll be here with handcuffs and be back in heaven and go to AA meetings. Well, I'm not driving, so I don't know. They have to get me drunk and disorderly out in public, or a bunch of other choices they always have had. Where's she going here? Okay, we're not going to stop men needing a booty. Okay? It said it needs to be somewhat regulated. And if a woman, let's just, no children or minors, for Christ's sakes. If you are a grown woman and you are completely fine with that, I don't give a rat's boots. It's when you're not okay with it and it's forced labor. Like, it's sex trafficking. It's slave labor. And you don't want to do it, but you're being scared and threatened and coerced maybe even worse, like if you don't do it, then this stuff will be leaked out about you. That kind of thing, right? So, I mean, that's where I'm more open-minded. But anything to do with minors, people with disabilities, you'd be shocked at how many disabled, like I'm talking like, I don't know what the proper words are anymore. Even the retards said, can't we just be called retards? That's what we are. I've seen videos like that. Because I'm a little retarded. And it just wasn't fully seen, and they just didn't care. So I've seen where those, like the disabled, like the vulnerable populations, they're more naive, they're more gullible. That technically would be me, too. That's how I was. And it took a long time to get that out of me, like took a long time to develop that. And still, I can be kind of tricked by people, but now I'm just older, and I like to see how scantless people are, so sometimes I'll, play along a little bit, just to see what I'm dealing with people. And, I don't know, that could be a form of manipulation. I'm not real sure. It's just to get it over with, like the Frank and the fence, and I don't know if Frank was gay. I don't give a hoot if you're gay. Like, you ain't gonna catch me out looking at a bunch of naked ladies and then be like, hey, John, do you think maybe, and we won't, you know what I mean? I mean, it can be fun to fantasize. This is not adult. This is definitely not a child show today, and I'm probably going to get in so much trouble. But see, kids, if you sneak on here, that's for adults only. It really should be. See, kids should just be kids. I'm pretty strong in that. Kids should be kids. And there just isn't enough of kids that were kids in the right way. And it's got me pretty bothered because I had to try to find or heal up my kid while I was being an adult and trying to be a parent. Say, well, no one forced you to do that. Well, that's just the way it landed. You know what I mean? And it's not easy and certainly not recommended. But even your most seasoned people, like, well, I'm going to wait to have children. They might read every book under the sun. How to be a great parent. Well, first of all, where are you getting your stuff from? What psychology field? What form of less cognitive experience driven? For instance, I tried to read books about my son. The kid was smarter than me when he came out of my womb. You think I'm kidding? He's probably already planned. By the time he knew me for 6 months, he'd already had some plans orchestrated for a 2-year advancement of how can I break this woman. All right. So I'm starting to try to read these books about these strong-willed kids and put them in a timeout and blah blah blah. I mean, I could be in a timeout all day with my son before the time he was 5. Are you going to sit there and sit in a timeout all day and have a discussion with him? No, he needed a strong, healthy, masculine figure that was healthy and not teaching him to abuse his mother and probably give him a good, swift kick to the booty. I wasn't wanting to do no booty beating on a kid. Good God, that's so far from my way. It's like, let's get this worked out. Let's make some sense of this. Let's try not necessarily easier, softer way, but I believe in you. I believe in that you don't want to be a little monster of a boy, although you seem to be displaying such traits. And then you got the families enabling it. Oh, you say that's horrible. You're being so rough on him. Oh my God. Oh, really? Yeah, rough on him is he has to sit on a little stool and think about his behavior and his approaches to things such as, what was that, a year old? I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do. I couldn't get smart enough in time for him. Completely exhausting. People didn't even want to watch him because he was so full of energy. And that was also some sabotage and stuff too. But they couldn't keep up with him. And they weren't going to tell me what he was doing. And I know exactly what he was doing. If he was a year or 2 years old and he had barely any, heavy weight going, he can move quicker than the fastest little creature ever to be existed. And you went and you had to go potty, who knows what you came out and what was going on. One kid. Now I gotta go. God, Al's not here, is he? God, he needs to keep his sniffer on his side of the fence. I remember that one dumb book I read. It's like, How to Raise a Strong-Willed Kid. Oh, yeah, swat his butt. I didn't like doing it. It seemed counterproductive with my son. It didn't seem like that was the best thing for him. He probably trust me, he got him. But he got chances because I could see something was, you know what I mean? Got the grandma forcing vaccines on my kid and stuff. Too many of them. Something tweaked out then. That, it was like he was ahead or over there and already doing this, and then what are you going to whoop him all day? Couldn't. Because then with a kid like him, you were going to extinguish that explorative, confident ability to kind of navigate life. You know what I mean? So I've mentioned these things before. I tried to just keep him as active as possible and hope if I could get a short cat nap and he'd take one, that he wouldn't burn down a house or something accidentally because he was experimenting with some matches he found or something. The one, I think it was either the fork or butter knife in the outlet, something crazy. I caught him before he did that one once. And we had a kitty. I got the kitty to see what I was exactly dealing with in his ways. And it was a bit scary to see. But we got a lot of that worked out. But see, I still had those monster men trying to make him be scary. And I'd say that book was ridiculous in a way, because if you're strong-willed, and I run somewhat that way, and part of my theme of me is show me the proof. Show me the evidence why that's, See, I wasn't like that. I wasn't out trying to, swing cats around by their tails and stuff. Now, see, that part of me was way more... I'd be having funerals for birds that I found in the yard. I'm that kind of little kid. Yeah, I might have been trying some jumping off of small building type roofs to just see. Mary Poppins was a big influence. I knew it was a cartoon, but at the same time I was like, this could maybe work if you get it just right. So, that might have been me from time to time, that kind of stuff, jumping off of haylofts. Wondering if I could execute a front flip or swing on a rope or a vine across the creek and hopefully it doesn't snap. So that was more of my, and I guess in just the more that's more boy behavior. And I was just very active girl, and I loved being outdoors and I loved interacting with nature. And that really never changed. And I don't know what's going on right now, but this is the patties. And I quite frankly I had to add the flour and the oats. And then what we do is we just dip them in a little bit of Thousand Island. And that's about it. And there's 3 patties in there, and it looks like I can get 2 or more here because those ones are pretty big. And I just keep them grilling a little bit longer than what it says. Just get them nice and crispy on each side, a nice crisp crunch. Yum, yum, tum, tum. Love you. And so, should I try stand-up again? It's just a question for me. Probably not, but who knows?